Chris
Okay.
Quinlan, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we are. Allan Zavod, tell us a little bit about your times with Frank Zappa, that is.
Very challenging. Very challenging because you had to really be at your very best at all times. The music was extremely disciplined. He's a very serious composer and will be recognised as one of the 20th century's most important composers. Most prolific and most important composers. Definitely in that category. And a lot of 20th century music is going to go away because it doesn't seem to have... Well, hey, listen, I don't know if that's true exactly, but my feeling is that a lot of it may disappear, and the older periods of music from the classical and romantic periods may come back again in the way they were in their day. And it's happening now because there's no radio. You hear mostly that period and early 20th century or late 19th century French composers. Did I say late? I meant to say early 1900s. I mean, sorry, fellas. You understand? But Frank will be in the 20th century realm of composers. Now, for me, it was, as I say, an enormous challenge because there was a lot of material to learn in a short space of time and to remember. The music required a skill, and you had to give your heart as well. Of course, you must with all music. If you want to make it felt by others, you have to feel it yourself. The feeling with Frank was that it was a never-ending journey. You see, even the last day of the tour in '84, right up to the very last rehearsal, which was in fact the last day, I can recall rehearsing new music for maybe the next tour, 2 years down the road, if that was going to happen. But it was a never-ending journey. There was so much of it to learn, to experience, that it didn't seem that unusual to be rehearsing new music that we were never going to play because that was the last day of the tour. Very unusual. But that's the way it was with Frank. Very entertaining, never boring. And I say that not because I'm trying to sell a product, which I know I'm starting to sound like, which is stupid, but in all sincerity, the diversity of material and the way it was performed every night was truly a new experience for me. It was always different. He changed lyrics, he changed material every night. By the end of the tour, we had 4 or maybe 5 actually completely different 2-hour shows. That's it. I mean, that's a lot of music. I remember with other musicians, and God bless him, Jean-Luc Ponty, who I love dearly, we'd go out and we'd do the same tunes every night, but not with Frank. At least with Jean-Luc, we'd do the same tunes for 6 months, and we'd promote the album of that tour. We do the Enigmatic Ocean tour and all. We do just the tunes from that period or from that album with a couple of others thrown in. Not Frank. Frank would do his whole history, or as much as we could get within a year, which was only a small amount of material. I mean, the humour was different every night, never the same. And remember too, we used to go out and play for 2 hours, non-stop. His dialogue or introductions to tunes would be part of the music. The music never stopped. And the transitions were precise, intricate, and difficult to rehearse. When I looked at that band the first time, Frank would take me home and play me some videos of his bands, of the past. How do they do that? So they go from one tune to the next. Frank said, well, you really have to be in the band to to understand how that happens. Because sometimes, Chad Wackerman was the drummer at the time. Chris, you're a great drummer yourself. Chad would do the slightest little cue. It was barely noticeable. We all knew the cue. We were waiting for it, though. There was barely any relationship between the two. There was just a tiny little drum cue, or someone would do some other little cue that would make it happen. And Frank's cue into that would be a little pull of the ear, which would mean go into reggae, or he'd do this with this hair lock, and that would mean fast, or we're now ready for this tune. We had a list of tunes. That's all we had. That was our only music, because we had to memorize everything. We had like the 20 tunes we were doing that night, and he would cue them in one by one. And it would be a very smooth, seamless transition from one piece to the next, one tune to the next. And to watch that in the audience, you just think, how the hell did they do that? My experiences with Frank, what can I say? That's part of it. The challenge to me was to be able to learn as much material as I could in that short year. I know that after each gig, if I wasn't preoccupied with other goodies, such as ladies, you understand, I'd, go back to the hotel and practice new material for the next day's rehearsal. Every day was not just a sound check before a job, it was a 3-hour rehearsal to try out new material. That's why it was always so interesting to be with Frank, because it was always different. And if you listen to some 180 to 200 shows that we did over that year, which he recorded every one, they're all different. To me, as a musician in his band, which I was at the time, you really couldn't wish for a better gig if you were a serious muso. What about all the styles? Every style that we did, musical style, was authentic. It wasn't a jazz band trying to play rock and roll, or a rock and roll band trying out a few gospel notes. Every number in that over the course of the evening was so sincerely felt and so sincerely performed that when it was gospel, that's what it was. We did everything from, we did Spike Jones material in that style of Spike Jones, where the band would take little cues, precise, complex little musical cues that were contributing to the humour of a number, which was Spike Jones used to do, if you listen to Spike. And I always said to Frank, Spike, if he was alive, would have been very proud of him. Then we do Broadway. We do some musical number on the basis of a big Broadway production. As I say, we do gospel, we do rock and roll, we do jazz. Jazz, okay, let's talk about jazz. Jazz is spontaneous composition, okay? If you're going to do jazz, it has to be truly spontaneous. And when you do 180 shows, how are you going to do a different solo every night and not rely on maybe what you did the night before that really worked for that audience? Forget it, we never thought that way. We thought as jazz musicians when we played jazz. We played a different solo every night. We tried out new things. Now, Chris, you're a drummer. Chad Wackerman was in the band at the time. And Chad was, and Frank, and everybody in the band, Scott Tunis, all of us, who were playing the jazz part of the evening, would always go for new material, new ideas, each and every night. And that's great. Because I can assure you it's very easy to fall into the same little formulas. The only formula that I fell into was I do this little cue every night out of my solo. I think it was not Zoota Lewis, it was some other tune we played. And I do the same little cue, which was very flashy and very impressive. And it would sort of do all this octave stuff and build into a big frenzy, and the crowd would go nuts. unbeknownst to me, the band was laughing at me at the time. They thought that was pretty funny that I'd do that. And it was kind of almost too showy and rock and roll. Why didn't I do different things every night? But really, it was only a cue to bring them back to the tune. I didn't even have to do that. But years later, I discovered that by reading Frank's book when he wrote about it. And of course, I wrote him a very nasty letter. And when we had dinner in LA, and that's another story, of course, going out on the town with Frank in Los Angeles or New York, towns, there are two cities that are very blasé. They love stars, they love people, but they're very blasé about it. They usually ignore it. They're used to having Hollywood around them in LA, and people mind their own business basically. But Frank attracted attention. People would stop him on the streets, which is why he didn't go on the street too much. When we go out to dinner, I noticed that every table would look at our table and say, Frank Zappa. You knew that they felt his presence. And it was real love for Frank. He really affected people that way when he went in public. And in the same way that Jagger would, he had that vibe, a very strong vibe. And he was just being himself, Frank. His usual arrogant self. I loved him for that. But being arrogant, I could also be arrogant in turn, and knew that he could understand that. So I said, Frank, I read your article about myself in your book, and I'm going to go around to all of these tables, all these people that love you. I'm going to tell them what a real asshole you really are. And he didn't seem to mind that at all. Because I didn't do that, because he did go on to say that I'd gone into a serious career of film composing. So I'd make that clear for you Channel 31 people that I'm not really a bum. Just half. And I now have gone on to all this other career of film writing, television scoring, and all those things. And it was good to be with Frank for that time because I've been fearless. That is, without fear to face any musical situation or challenge that I've been asked to do. And that's through being with Frank, because he always put you on the line and made you give your best and brought things out in you that you'd never really thought that you could do.